Hello, lovelies. Our lesson today is about fraction of a set. If you are following with me from your Marshall Cavendish books, this will be in your pupils books, page 211. Now, let's take a question to clarify the idea of fraction of a set. Here we have Kevin had 1120 grams of sugar. He poured the sugar equally into 5 containers. He gave 2 out of 5 of the containers to Noah. How many grams of sugar did Kevin give to Noah? Now I have a whole amount, which is 1120 grams of sugar, and it's poured equally into 5 containers. So I need the first step. I need to divide the 1120 grams of sugar into the 5 containers. When you divide them by 5, you will have 224 grams per 1 container. This amount is considered 1 part. Now, he didn't give only 1 part to Noah. He gave him 2 out of 5 parts. He gave him 2 out of 5 as a fraction. So if he gave him only 1 out of 5, that will be 224. So the second step, I need to multiply the numerator of my fraction, which is 2, by the 1 part, which is 224 grams, which will give me a total of 448 grams. So this is the amount he gave to Noah. So to solve any math problem, including fractions of a set, you have 2 main steps. The first step is dividing the whole amount that you have into parts. How many parts? It depends on the question. You always look at the denominator. For this question, the denominator is 5. So we divided 1120 divided by 5. That gave me 224 grams. This is 1 part. Now, the second step will always be to multiply the numerator, which is 2, times 1 part, which is 224, which will give me 448 grams. So from the 1120 grams of sugar that he had, he gave Noah 448 grams, and he saved the rest. Now let's take a look at another question. Arif here had some milk. He gave 45 out of 100 of the milk to his sister, and he had 550 milliliters left. How many of milk did he have at first? This is a key word. Now, we will do the same steps, but in reverse. He had some milk, I don't know how much, but the milk that he had, he divided it into 100 parts because I have the denominator is 100. So this is 100 parts. From these 100 parts, he gave his sister 45. Out of the whole 100, he gave her 45 parts. So how much did he have left? He had 55 parts for himself. Because I have 100 parts total, if he gave his sister 45, 100 minus 45, he will have 55 left. Now, this amount, which is 55 parts, is divided into, or it equals into 550 milliliters of milk, the amount that he had left. So one more time. He had some milk. He gave his sister 45 parts out of that milk. He divided it into 100 parts because the denominator is 100. Then he gave his sister 45 and he had left 55 parts. Those 55 parts are equal to 550 milliliters because in the question it says that he had 550 milliliters left. Now, we need to find the original amount that he had. How much milk did he have at first? So these 55 parts are equal to 550 milliliters of milk. Now, I need to find out how much one part is to find out how much the 100 parts as a whole are. So I need to divide my 550 milliliters of milk to the 55 parts. Which will be 10. So each one part was 10 milliliters of milk. Now he didn't have 55 parts at first. He had 100 parts at first. So if one part is equal to 10 milliliters, how much will 100 part be equal to? 100 parts of milk. I will multiply them by 10 milliliters of milk, which will give me 1000 milliliters, or 1 liter of milk. Now, let's sum up one more time. He had some milk. He gave his sister 45 out of 100. And he had left 550 milliliters. We draw a gram or a diagram. This diagram is divided into 100 parts because the denominator is 100. The question tells me how many parts should I divide the amount to. Now, from these 100 parts, he gave his sister 45 parts. So what he is left with from those 100 parts is 100 minus 45, 55 parts. Those are the parts that are left with him, which are equal to 550 milliliters of milk. So those 550 milliliters are divided into 55 parts. I can find out from this information how much each part was by saying 550 divided by 55 will give me 10 milliliters of milk. So each one part was equal to 10 milliliters. If I had 100 parts, not only one, I multiplied all the number of the parts by the amount of one part, which is 10. So 100 times 10 will give me 1000 milliliter, or 1 liter if we convert it to liters. And that is it for our lesson today. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I strongly advise that you always follow the same 2 steps for finding a fraction of a set. First of all, you divide the whole amount by the denominator, then you multiply the numerator by the one part. And that's it. I hope you are all safe, and I will see you next time.